Hey guys, so I get a lot of emails from people who are going through or have been through a major either spiritual transformation or personal awakening. And this week I get a particularly articulate email. This woman, I will call her Emily, not her real name. She shared her experience of her own personal transformation. And I just want to read it to you because I think many of you will be able to relate. I'll read some part of it. And then I want to talk about what do you do when you are in the midst of a personal transformation that is very uncomfortable. So Emily goes, everything seems to be crumbling around me and internally. Friends, families, ideas, dreams and aspirations, sense of directions, all gone. Everything that I've ever known about spirituality is just gone, crumbled, disintegrated. I realize now that there isn't anything to realize and that I know nothing at all. And yet there is nothing to know, if that makes sense. Of course, Emily, it totally makes sense. And she said, my sense of me is disintegrating. It feels like I'm losing a huge chunk of who I am. Yet, I feel closer to reaching me than ever before. Like I'm on a crazy trip that doesn't seem to have an end and there are never any definite answers. Answers the mind craves. Internally, I understand, but the mind still wants closure. I also feel almost physically ill, like my head is going at 1,000,000 miles per hour, yet so foggy, feverish. I can't think logically, especially at work. I feel like everyone is staring at me and the spotlight is on me 24/7. So raw and vulnerable. I physically hurt sometimes from being at work and having to be so logical all the time. So Emily, thanks for sharing this with me. My heart goes out to you. I totally get it. I know what you are going through because I've been through this myself. So, and a lot of my readers, I think a lot of you guys, you have been through the same or similar experiences. Now the question is, what do you do? What can you do when you are going through such a major transformation? What I can tell you is, okay, first of all, I want to tell you two things that you should avoid doing, what not to do. So there are two common traps that I find we tend to fall into when we are going through such a process. I myself did, so it's okay if you fall into these traps. That's totally part of the journey, but I just want to point this out to you so you can look out for them. So the two traps, the first one is what I called why me trap. So the storyline goes, okay, why am I suffering this? Why is not Joe or Bill or Megan? The universe must hate me. This is totally unfair. Probably I've done something wrong to deserve this. So that's the storyline, the why me storyline. And if you're thinking this way, I want you to know that no, the universe doesn't hate you. This is happening for a purpose, and the purpose you may not know right now, and that is totally okay. And the truth is, any type of transformation, internal transformation and awakening is rarely comfortable. It's not like if you sit under a tree and just meditate and take a long nap and everything is so peaceful and you wake up and you are suddenly a realized master. It doesn't go that way. Okay? So I want you to know that if you're going through this, it's totally expected. There's nothing wrong if you, as long as you, at the deeper part of you, knows this truth, then you will be okay. Okay? So the second trap that's very easy to fall into, and I call it I'm special trap. So the storyline goes, okay, I'm going through this very special transformation. That must mean that I'm somehow extraordinary. I'm different than anybody else. The universe has bestowed upon me this special task or special kind of suffering because I am on a mission to realize, to save humanity or to realize some very lofty goal. I don't want to disagree with you if you're thinking that way, because you are special and so is everybody else. We are all special and we are all the chosen one because you are chosen to be here on this earth at this specific time and space in order to manifest a certain very particular, very unique rendition of the universe. So in that sense, you are totally special. So am I, so is everybody else. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's mode of transformation is different. This particular one that Emily talked about and also happened to be the kind that I went through is just one particular kind. And in order to grow, for us humans, in order to grow and transform, there are thousands of different ways to do it. The bottom line is both these traps are simply your ego's way to try to survive this transformation. Because no matter whether you're thinking that you're a victim or you're thinking that you're somehow special, they're both your ego's way try to differentiate itself from everything else, from everybody around you. Because your ego knows that it's going to be neutralized through this process, it doesn't like this. But really, I think the best thing you can do is not to spin any stories around, no matter whether you call it dark night of soul or the discomfort and suffering that you're going through. It will serve you better to try to avoid spinning such stories and pigeonhole yourself into a fixed narrative. And because any narrative will end up being too limiting to your experience, if that makes sense. So now we talked about what not to do, then what can you do? What should you do when you're going through a spiritual transformation? Again, different people's journeys are very unique. What you're going through are specific to you, but I do think there are some common principles that you can follow to make your life easier. And the first thing I want to tell you is try to live your life one day at a time, especially if you are going through a major change, internal change like this. Just put one foot in front of the other, and then the other, and then repeat, and then repeat. Be present to your experience. Avoid thinking like, oh, this is taking forever, this is never going to end, I'm going to be suffering for no reason till the end of my life. No. It's not gonna happen, okay? This is just a phase of your development. The best attitude is just to take it as it comes and try not to think too far ahead and worry about, okay, what will happen if your life is like this forever, because it won't. And the second thing I would suggest you to do is to treat yourself with extreme kindness. If your mind is not working, that's okay. If you cannot think logically, if you are forgetful, or suddenly find your IQ drop to 50, that's totally fine. Because a major purpose of this journey is for you to realize, to learn to be comfortable in no matter what kind of situation you're in, no matter whether it's a positive experience or negative experience, no matter whether you're in bliss or in suffering, to learn to treat these experiences equally and neutrally, and know that the center of you, the core of you, the floorboard of your existence, that doesn't change no matter what kind of experience you're going through. If you can get to that very core of you and be in constant touch with that core of you, you will know that Nothing really happening in this world or happening to you can actually hurt you. That is, I would say, a main purpose of this journey you are going through. Now, speaking of purpose, what is the purpose of you awakening through so much suffering? What I observe in many people who are going through this journey or have been through a major personal awakening, their purpose, at least a part of it, seems to be that they are called to be of service to humanity through a particular kind of service, that is service through healing and compassion. Healing doesn't mean that you have on your business card that, okay, I'm a healer, I'm a professional therapist or whatever. No. Providing a healing service, it can just mean that in your interaction with other human beings, you extend a lot of love and compassion to those around you and also to yourself. And through your compassion and understanding and your non-judgmental perspective to look at other human beings, you make them realize on a deeper level that there are certain traumas or bad experiences that they no longer need to hold on to. And that is healing. You are helping them heal by just being who you are. Because you're called to be of service of this kind, you need to experience pain and suffering yourself first. You need to humble your own ego first. And that's why that you are going through this particular transformation in this particular way. But again, even that is a very limited way to think about this. And because purpose in itself is a very limiting concept. Only your mind understands purpose, and your mind needs a purpose. The rest of you don't necessarily need that. But if you want to know the purpose, I think that's a major part of the purpose of your journey. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for joining me today, and see you next time.